Hi everyone, it's Nicole Spohr here today with a Rainbow Heart Love Bear featuring lots of fun Simon Says stamps, dies, and stencils to create not only this really sweet card, but the coordinating envelope. I'm so excited about sharing all the things about one of the new envelope die sets from Simon, as well as how I customized it. We're going to start by die cutting this rainbow heart from a 4¼ by 5½ inch panel of smooth white cardstock. And I'm just going to gently peel that up. I did die cut it off the side. I really love the look of especially a heart kind of shifted over to the side a little bit, hanging off the edge. In addition to that, I have die cut the heart several times from many colors of pink and red cardstock. And all of those cardstock colors are linked below in the supplies as well as listed on my blog. You can find that information and the link to my blog in the box underneath the video here on YouTube. So I'm going to really quick take the Lawn Fawn Just Stitching double rectangle largest die from that set, and I am going to add this decorative detail all around the perimeter of the card. This doesn't actually die cut anything, but it adds the double stitching lines, which I absolutely love. I'm going to go ahead and just pop that out. Look at that decorative edge then. It really just adds a little something to the background without adding, stamping or inking or any of those things. Very simple. Next, we're going to add a stamped sentiment using the Simon Says stamp, Miss You, Missy greeting that says, I think about you all the time. Now, I wanted my sentiment to match the colors I'm using for my rainbow heart, so I want to stamp it in multiple colors of ink, meaning I am masking off parts of the image with Post-it tape, inking up, for example, the first word, about, with Ballet Slippers Lawn Fawn ink, stamping that, and then moving on to the next word. Now, I accidentally messed up that first word, so I actually had to redo my background, which kind of stunk since I'd already die cut it with the heart and added the stitching detail. So I'm going to have to do that again here in a minute, but real life, y'all, so I wanted to keep that in there so you know it does happen. So I stamped the word you with Lawn Fawn Plastic Flamingo ink, which is going to be a little bit brighter pink ink. And then the rest of the sentiments are going to be with Lawn Fawn Lobster ink. So 3 colors for one little sentiment here. Really, really cute. I love how it's stacked, the sentiment's stacked with different sizes of text. And then I centered it with my heart. So again, now I just have to re-die cut my heart and re-die cut those stitching lines all the way around, and I've got my background again. On the back of my panel now, I was going to go ahead and start adding my foam adhesive, but I really, really recommend adding your inlay first. That's going to be the rainbow heart. So I've got my white top fold card base. I'm going to score that in half with a bone folder, and I'm just going to hold my heart frame in place. I don't want to attach it, and I'm going to add some adhesive then to the heart area and inlay all of my heart pieces. So we've got the majority of the heart is this light pink Hero Hues Peony cardstock. My favorite, most favorite light pink cardstock ever is this Hero Hues Peony cardstock. I love it. Next, we have a Rainbow Ray out of Gina K Bubblegum cardstock. Then we have some Hero Hues Azalea cardstock. Lawn Fawn Guava cardstock. Lawn Fawn Raspberry cardstock. Look at all these beautiful pinks, so pretty. We have Hero Hues Cherry cardstock, Hero Hues Cranberry cardstock, so there is our reds, and then we're going to finish with another peony piece. So there is our beautiful inlay heart right there. Now I can take my frame, flip it over and fill that back with foam adhesive. You could use foam adhesive strips, whatever you want to do there. You could even die cut multiple frames, I guess, if you wanted to, and stack them one on top of another for dimension. I use scrapbook adhesives, foam adhesive squares. I'm going to peel off the backing paper from all of these, and then we're going to simply pop this on top. However, I want my bear to be popped up. I don't want my picture book love bear to be directly on the rainbow heart. So I actually removed a couple of foam adhesive squares. I flipped the bear over, and I'm going to secure the pieces that are hidden back behind the bottom edge of the heart with my foam adhesive. That's going to be the bear plus the tummy piece, which I forgot. I have to use a little undo to add that here in a minute. But I'm also going to back my bear with foam adhesive. This not only raises the bear up so that the bear is higher, it's the same height as the frame, it will serve as a great way to inlay all those little pieces to build the bear's face. So the little hearts for the insides of the ears and the nose and the eyes and the little heart on the chest. This is one of my very favorite tips, is using foam adhesive not only for dimension but for inlay. It's fantastic for inlay. Then we're going to pop our frame right over our rainbow heart inlay background. So we're just layering Simon Says Stamp dies here. I am in love with this rainbow heart. I think it's so cool. You can do it in traditional rainbow, absolutely. With Valentine's coming up, I thought it would be fun to do pinks and reds. I kind of dig doing tone on tone, or all in one color family, and I love how this turned out. For the nose part of the bear, one of my favorite tips for this to create easy dimension, you have to die cut the picture book from several colors of cardstock anyway. I just retain that first dark brown color. I believe that's Chocolate Bar from Lawn Fawn. And then the tummy and the nose are paper bag cardstock from Lawn Fawn. And I'm going to just use the Chocolate Bar first and then pop the paper bag layer on top. It gives it a little teeny tiny bit of dimension and really makes the nose part stick out. Then I'm even going to add an extra layer, so a third layer to the bear with the nose. I used ground coffee cardstock to die cut that. Insides of the ears are that Hero Hues Peony cardstock. The heart is Hero Hues Cherry cardstock, the heart on the chest. And there is our darling bear. I opted not to do the eyes. I'm actually going to draw in some little eyelashes with a fine tip black pen. And then I'm going to take Nuvo Crystal Drops in Ebony Black and add the eyes. That not only eliminates having to fiddle with teeny tiny little circles, but it gives some dimension to the eyes and shine to the eyes, which I would probably add glossy accents anyway. So that's a really fun tip, is to use something like Nuvo Crystal Drops in in Ebony Black. I am adding glossy accents to the heart on the bear's chest. It's going to be the only glossy heart. The insides of the ears, I'm actually going to add Nuvo Crystal Drops in White Blizzard, which is my favorite iridescent, sparkly, clear product that's going to add some dimension, but it's a sparkly dimension. So when that dries, it becomes a very opaque, or not opaque, I'm sorry, translucent, and it just adds a sparkle and to the cardstock area. I've also added some little white dots to the nose of the bear with a white pen. These little hearts here are one of my very favorite dies from Simon Says Stamp. I think it's from one of the original exclusive Simon Says Stamp releases. This is the Mini Hearts set. And I have used this so many times over the years. I absolutely love it. But it comes with little hearts. There's 3 different designs in 3 different sizes. And I'm using the one closest to the design on the picture book Love Bear's chest. And I die cut it from many of the same cardstock colors that I used for the rainbow heart. I'm going to position those where I want them to go. And then I'm going to use a crystal katana to pick them up. and a glue tube to add a dab of glue and pop them in place. And I'm going to continue this for all the hearts. You'll notice I added one little heart to the center of the O in about, and that's just to add a fun little decorative touch to our sentiment. Ties it all in, ties it together, but the hearts add so much to the design. These little hearts just kind of tie it all together, which I absolutely love. Once I have all my hearts in place, I want to embellish these with some Nuvo Crystal Drops and White Blizzard, so they're all going to be sparkly as well, like the hearts in the bear's ears. Again, it really kind of looks milky in consistency when it goes on, but it dries clear, iridescent, and sparkly. I would give this probably a good hour to completely dry. You could also let it set overnight. That's what I usually do, is I like to let it just sit probably a good 24 to 48 hours before I ever send it, try to put it in an envelope or anything like that. But it should be dry to the touch and appearance in about an hour. Next, I die cut this envelope using the new Simon Says Stamp A2 V-flap envelope. I die cut the components, the main section and the two sides, from Lawn Fawn Guava cardstock. I'm then taking a powder tool and adding it in the bottom left corner of the front of the envelope and stamping some sentiments from the Simon Says Stamp Good Mail Day stamp set. That includes the phrase crafty mail in the house, and then also the phrase, which means it costs 5 times more than a store-bought card. I mean, have you seen my craft room? I think that's hilarious, and I don't know about you guys, but it's probably true. So I think it's just really, really fun. I've mentioned it before, but I'm trying super hard to make it a goal this year to not only decorate the insides of my cards when possible, but maybe add some fun touches to envelopes. And we're creating our envelope from start to finish. So definitely love the custom color and custom design of this. I also used the arrow design. I stamped all of that with clear embossing ink and heat embossed with white embossing powder. I want to make sure and buff away any of that powder before I finish assembling my card. I'm using a bone folder to make sure that those creases are really nice and crisp as well. Then for the two side panels, I want to make sure that I touch the adhesive as little as possible. So first I'm going to fold them on the score lines, score them with my bone folder. Let's do that for both flaps on each side. And then let's take some 1/4 inch double-sided tape. Oh, actually first, let's go ahead and stencil the front of our envelope. I forgot, I'm sorry. I'm going to mask off from the score line down at the top and the bottom, and I'm using my favorite Simon Says Stamp Bursting Hearts stencil. You will notice that in my video that features Mama Elephant Stamps and Dies, the Tall and Skinny XOXO card, I use this stencil too because I cannot get enough. I love it. We're just going to quickly stencil this design over our card front with Lawn Fawn Guava ink right over what we've stamped. We can buff away anything sitting on top of the embossed areas here in a minute. Peel off our Post-it tape masks so it's only on the front of the envelope. How gorgeous is that, you guys? Isn't that fun and super quick and easy? We're just going to buff away that ink that's sitting on top of the embossing. Now, let's put that adhesive on the side flaps and assemble our envelope. So just going to put this strong adhesive. And I like to use a nice strong adhesive. You could use liquid if you want to, but I find liquid kind of messy. So that I'm going to use the double-sided tape, and then I'm using my Tool-in-One to peel up just a portion of that so that I'm not touching the adhesive. I'm not getting oil from my hands on that at all. And then I'm going to line it up with the side of my envelope on the back, peel away the rest of that, and just press it in place and use my bone folder to make sure it is attached really well. Let's do the same thing on the second side. Let's peel up just a portion. Let's adhere it right there along the edge. Peel away the rest of that. Use our bone folder to make sure it's nice and secure. And then I'm going to take my double-sided adhesive and place it in 2 spots along the side flaps to pull up the bottom. So you'll see what I mean here. I'm going to just place it along each side. Again, I want to try to touch this as little as possible. Got to just get it peeled up here. Fold that in, use our bone folder again, and there is our coordinating envelope. How pretty is that? Doesn't that just make you want to create all the coordinating envelopes? I love that set so much. I'm going to add another sentiment from that Miss You Missy stamp set inside my card to finish it off that reads, "That came off way creepier than intended," which I think is just so funny and cute and really goes with everything else. Very punny. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this card and envelope featuring Simon Says stamps, dies, and stencils. The supplies I used to create my card are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Simon Says stamp that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a new card making video. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll catch you next time.